Welcome back to Lessons from the Front. Today, I'm diving into a transformation that pushed my creative limits. My initial winter army featured classic German soldiers in greatcoats, inspired by iconic films such as the one that you're watching now. I loved that classic look, but I also didn't feel confident enough to paint an army that included camouflaged uniforms. I just didn't feel I had the skills to do that. However, after a challenge from my friend Phil, I decided it was time to step outside of my comfort zone. He encouraged me to convert a figure from a summer German army sprue into a winter soldier, complete with splinter camouflage Zaltbahn worn over a greatcoat, as presented to me in this picture that Phil sent me. That meant using green stuff to sculpt the Zaltbahn and give the figure a more rugged, winter-ready appearance. In this video, I'll give you a brief overview of how I kitbashed the figure and used green stuff to create the Zaltbahn and the greatcoat underneath. Whether you're a seasoned hobbyist or just starting out, I hope you find some inspiration in this transformation. So let's dive in and see how I tackled this challenge to create a winter soldier I'm pretty proud of. Right, so let's get started. Firstly, I chose the torso that you can see presented on the left because it was already wearing the Zaltbahn, and also if you look at its body position, it's quite similar to the image on the right. That was the image that my friend Phil had sent me as the challenge. So after gluing on a pair of arms that was holding a rifle in a similar position to the image that you can see on the right, and founding and gluing on a head that had a helmet with wire mesh on, just as in the image that Phil provided, I then proceeded to have the excess Zaltbahn shaved away using a craft knife. I was intending to have the Zaltbahn hanging low for a more winter look. I also gave my figurine a potato masher hand grenade, and I had it looking as if it was tucked into the front under his belt, just as in the image provided. I shaved the hand grenade lengthwise so it would have a snug fit. I then proceeded to work with green stuff, first working on the arms and the area below the Zaltbahn to create the effect of the trooper wearing a Zaltbahn over a greatcoat. So working with the arms first, I created long rectangular shapes that are folded back on itself at the ends to enhance the seam of the greatcoat. I didn't bother going all the way up or working the green stuff all the way up to the shoulder because I knew the Zaltbahn would eventually cover that anyways. So next I worked on the Zaltbahn itself and the two pieces that would be hanging off each of the soldiers' shoulders. I used a toothpick to create the buttonholes, and I just scratched the seam into place using the craft knife. I then molded the Zaltbahn into place using a wet toothpick. I must say, working with green stuff is rather tricky, very sticky, and so a lot of saliva and water is needed in order to keep the green stuff from sticking to your fingers and into places that you don't really want it to be attached to. Anyway, so that's the figurine in its completed stage. So now it was just up to painting the figurine to come close to matching the image that Phil sent me. So this is not going to be a painting tutorial, and as I said up front, especially in the area of painting camouflage, I definitely lack experience and skill. But anyway, for this challenge that Phil sent me, in trying to match this figurine to an image, I used 4 colors. They are all Vallejo colors. For the camouflage of the Zaltbahn, I used the Pale Sand 837 for the base color, and then the German Camo Medium Brown, that's number 826, and then the German Camo Bright Green 833 for the green splotches, and then for the greatcoat underneath the Zaltbahn, I just used a standard German field grey, number 830. For the technique of the camo, Basically, once I had given the Zaltbahn a base color of pale sand, knowing that it'd be darkened with a wash, you can use any brown wash, I guess, but I use Agric's Earthshade. Anyway, once I've done the base coat, I then painted triangles of German camo brown, medium brown, leaving enough space for the German camo bright green, and then once I'd done that, I did fine little strokes of brown and green and pale sand in various areas of the camo. I hope it gave the effect that I was kind of matches the accompanying image that you can see, and that you've learned something or gained something from watching this video. Anyway, so that's my attempt at meeting my friends' expectations. I hope Phil's happy with the end product, and I hope that you've been inspired. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Please do remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. But in the meantime, I wish you happy gaming!